Well, Josh, 13, the musical, is so cute. I kept thinking when I was watching, I was like, well, I wish my life as a 13-year-old was just breaking out into song and dance. I think it would make it a little more fun.
Mine was kind of
Was
that.
it?
Yeah, a little bit. But I went to performing arts high school, and I remember going from like a very normal elementary school into this place where like people were singing and doing cartwheels down the hallway.
Right.
And I was like, I think I found my tribe.
Hey! Oh! What are you doing now? You got something in your nose. So? I want it. Well, did you consider asking me first? I'd like to be in charge of the items in my nose, if you don't mind.
I love it.
You know?
I was gonna say theater people are the best. Performers, I should say, are the best. It's such a sweet story. How did this come about for you? Because you do play a rabbi in it, right?
I do.
Okay.
I play Evan, our sort of lead character. I play his rabbi, and I love the idea that we were sort of redefining this idea of sort of like the stately, stoic, sort of long-bearded religious leader in this kind of cool millennial rabbi who's trying to help this kid who very clearly is going through it, right? His parents are recently divorced. He's completely uprooted his life from New York City to Indiana, so a bit of a culture shock, I'm sure. And he's just trying to help him throughout this process because bar mitzvahs are wonderful and weird and challenging. Yeah. And I think my character really knows that.
Sorry, 1 second, sorry. Hello? Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. It's God. He wants his language back.
You grew up in front of the cameras too. You were acting at a very young age.
Sure.
To now take a step back and watch all these kids do it, and as you're playing a rabbi, was that kind of a full circle moment?
Oh my gosh, completely. I remember watching sort of the final big song, and I'm sitting there with Deborah Messing and Rhea Perlman and Peter Herman, and we're watching these kids. Like, we're literally in this church, and the kids stand up, and I did say church, and I am right, even though it's about a bar mitzvah.
It was at a church.
And we watch these kids like stand up, and they are belting out this gorgeous song. And I remember looking at the other actors and be like, "Are you gonna go?" Because I'm going. It's happening. It's bad. Like, I was like, it's so moving.
I bet it's even more emotional because you're a dad now too, right?
Oh,
you're like,
please.
You're like, oh my God, these kids, like, where are they coming from, right?
It's all over now.
It's all over
now.
now.
That I have a kid, I'm like, I'm crying at commercials, crying in the club. It's bad.
What does that mean that I don't have a kid and I'm doing that already? I'm like watching TV shows.
You're
just
a goner.
I got her. Just wait.
You haven't been here since you were 5. But if it took a divorce to get you to come back, maybe it's a good thing.
Mom!
Well, I look at the bright side.
What is there to do around here?
Obviously, so much of this story is about being 13 and like this coming of age. What was 13-year-old Josh like?
Oh man, cholesterol high. I was a heavy boy. I was thicker than most.
Sure, same. Actually, honestly, I mean it. Yeah.
I remember my bar mitzvah specifically actually being a pretty wonderful event. I was lucky. One of my best friends, his dad is a rabbi. Shout out Rabbi Henry Schreibman. And I called him when I got this part, and I said, "Can you tell me any nuance or anything to think about in playing this role?" And he said, "Listen. It's all about doing something that's really challenging at a young age with grace." And that's what I try to employ and teach my young sort of students when they're going through Hebrew school and doing this thing where you're like, why do I have to learn this now?
Right. Wow. I feel like you also describe what it could be like to be a child actor. That's how you kind of navigate that world. Did you apply that into your career?
I don't know if I knew it at the time that I was applying it, but I was so lucky to have a great mom who was like, really my protector throughout that time.
Sure.
So I really had a true north. And if you read my book, Happy People Are Annoying, I sort of talk about how certainly during, 18 through 21, I went through a total knucklehead phase where I had to sow my wild oats.
Sure. So this was all just to get Jesse a new Tinder profile pic?
Yes.
Well, good luck with that.
All right, so Josh, you posted support for your friend Jennette McCurdy this week, which, by the way, so did Nicki Minaj. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't know that.
Yes, on Queen Radio, she kind of praised Jennette, saying that a lot of her fans will be inspired by this book, especially the ones that have been writing with her for so long. What did you make of her, sharing her truth in this way in this book?
I just think it's incredibly brave.
Yeah.
And for her to do it in a way, she has this beautifully biting comedic voice and this thoughtful way of expressing her journey and her pain and her challenge, and I just honor her in that because it takes a lot of guts, but I also know sort of the power that when you do get vulnerable and share your story, how so many people can see themselves in it and find a little bit of a reprieve. So I'm just really proud of her.
Did you see parts of yourself in her story at all? Because obviously you guys have this shared unique experience of working at such a young age.
I think so. I mean, to be honest, and what I wrote about in my book was, navigating sort of growing up in the public eye, and that you're not always sort of afforded the opportunity to stumble in a safe way that you would be if you were just having a normal kid experience.
So true, yeah.
Extra pressure, a lot of other circumstance. So yeah, I think so.
I mean, you have a lot of important jobs you're juggling, right? Between fatherhood and your career. In fact, as much as we love you in this movie, I love seeing you on How I Met Your Father.
Thank you.
I love the relationship with you and Hilary Duff's character. Can we expect you in season 2?
You know what? I think it's sort of unofficially official that, you can.
Okay. It looked like it was a blast to shoot that show.
It's the best. Hillary's a dream, and I just feel lucky to be her friend. I've known her for over 10 years, and it's just the entire group there, all the actors, the creators. It's a beautiful time, and I feel so lucky to be a part of it.
And you and Hilary share a co-star now, Peter Herman, right? Because he was in Younger with her.
Have you met this Peter
I
Herman?
have not.
He's dreamy.
He looks dreamy on screen.
He's like 6'5".
Like,
he's a giant man.
so handsome.
So handsome, so lovely.
Yeah.
Like when we first met, he's like, "Can you tell me about TikTok?" I was like, "Peter,
Really?
I love this dad moment."
Wow.
I'm just moving some things around.
And like we talked about our kids, and he's a beautiful guy.
I'm saying, Hilary, get him on to How I Met Your Father season
Right?
2. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'd love it.
Find a way to do it. Find a way to do it.
When you tell the story in the future, just promise me you will change that part.
I love it. So we were just talking about fatherhood. You're expecting baby number 2. I mean,
am.
Are you ready to expand the brood? Like, how's the house looking right now?
I, like the great Elon Musk, am repopulating the earth. I'm here, and this is my You're welcome, the
Thank
world.
you so much, Josh Peck. Thank you so. So tell me this: if one day your kids say, "I want to pursue acting," no matter what age they are, what's your reaction going to be?
I always say that I'll give them all the support to take acting class and do school plays and all the great things you can do as a kid. And then when they're 18, if they decide they want to sort of follow it into college or what have you, I'll have them major in finance.
You're like, yeah, dude, follow the money.
It's not happening.
Right.
No, you know what the truth is I think it's something that you don't necessarily have to do professionally as a kid. And then eventually, if he follows his passion and he loves it, then I'll support him, because I think that's really important.
Well, he's got a great teacher in you, so I'm excited to see what he decides to do. I feel like you're going to support him no matter what he decides. It's like, oh, you want to be an engineer? Cool.
Yeah.
We got you.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, that would be the best.
Well, thank you so much. We
Thank
appreciate
you.
your time. And 13, the musical is streaming now on Netflix.